Alrighty, y'all. So obviously, Soda ended up coming out yesterday. I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago or yesterday. She came out yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, Soda ended up coming out. And obviously, when Soda came out, everybody was, saying that her best team was going to be the shotgun team. And I still do believe that. But we're going to be using her on a team where you're actually going to get higher numbers. And that is actually going to be with Crown. Yes, even though Soda's back. I'm keep getting mixed up between Sugar and Soda. But even though Soda's best team is with the shotgun team, you will get her highest damage potential through the team with Crown, Litter, and Naga. And you might be wondering, then Zxous, how is that Soda's best team if you... How is that her best team if you... You know what I mean? I'm trying to... Because even when I say it, it sounds silly. How is the shotgun team Soda's best team if you get higher damage output from Crown? And that's simply because Crown just makes anybody hit hard, right? When you comes to Soda, you're not using her unless you're using another team for some type of content, right? If you have Crown, I'd like to believe you have, somebody who's a lot better than Soda when it comes to DPS, and there's quite a few, right? If you don't, then by all means, go ahead and use Soda. But yeah, so I guess technically we're using her best team, right? Do I want to say that? Are we using her best team? I don't know. You guys let me know, because my knowledge, my assumption, my knowledge, my understanding of this is simply based on this character. You're not using her unless you're doing solo raid. Obviously, I'm using her for content, but you are not using her unless you're doing solo raid. That's my logic behind this character. And in solo raid, you're not running her with Crown, because if you're doing solo raid, you have a lot of DPS options. There's no way this is your first pick, because you wouldn't be doing solo raid. That's what I believe. Right? So there is that. The one thing is her with Modernia, when we use them together, the one thing is that she actually increases the burst skill by an extra 5 seconds. So when we use Modernia's burst skill, people are actually getting confused. When you increase a full burst, not a burst skill, my bad, a full burst. When you increase the full burst, that does not increase the cooldown of her, the burst skill. So if it says this lasts for 10 seconds, she doesn't add an additional 5 seconds to what your, burst skill effects does. No, you just have the full burst damage buff increased even more, right? So if we take a look right here, she is currently at 700k. This is one enemy, so I don't expect it to do much. But when we use her burst skill and it, everything goes off, it goes to 4.2 million, right? And then here, you kind of just banking on everybody else here. But yeah, once you get these damage buffs going off, it's like... Look at all that damage. Against the boss, she's gonna hit, right? Against the boss, keep in mind, y'all, she's matched up with my Modernia. That's quite the feat. She's matched up with my Modernia. Now my Modernia has her burst skill. And there is still one enemy, so she should still not be doing as much. Right? Modernia is good with 3 or 4 more enemies or higher, right? Because it's her normal attack gets cut down to 2. Hold on, yeah. Hold on. Was Soda higher than my Modernia there, or was she on par? She was almost on par. She was on par before Modernia used her burst skill. 17 and 23 million. That's quite the feat, y'all. That's quite the feat. Now, let me show you guys, obviously, Soda with this team against, mobs. Or I guess we'll do the one boss, right, in shooting range. I'm going to show you guys Soda against the boss in shooting range, and then I'm going to show you Soda against the boss with her shotgun team. So actually we could do that first, right here. Let me put somebody else. We'll put the other privity. Right now, this Soda, I'm gonna put it 10-10-10 as well, right? This Soda right now doesn't have her number 1 team. Her number 1 team would be with Bunny Alice, because Bunny Alice would make Toph have her stacks up permanently, basically. And by Toph having her stacks up permanently, at least full permanently, that's giving all shotgun allies massive charge speed, which goes to it's a lot. The shotgun team is so technically, it's crazy. There's just so much behind each different character. I just do not like how Alice is meant to support Toph. Such a silly ass practice, if you ask me. Okay, so only 400k there. You guys see the numbers, but look at this. It looks like they're hitting godlike numbers, but the pellets is not really increasing the damage, which is so silly, right? The pellets unfortunately doesn't increase the damage. It's just supposed to literally help you with like interruption parts and stuff like that, right? Kind of a way to help you out with your hit rate. But we can do a full 3-minute run, see what she ends up getting with this comp right here, with this team, and then we could do a full, you know, 3-minute run with the crown team where, you know, I'm not gonna put Moderni on the team though, just because it would be a waste having somebody who's already on a 15-second cooldown, right? But yeah, no, like the pellets, it looks like she's doing God's work. It really does with the pellets increase. Look, but how it works is, I guess the pellets split the damage. So to make this make more sense, if there was 4 numbers, right, 4 shots that went off, let's say it did 25,000 each, right? By adding 1 pellet, rather than the 1 pellet doing an additional 25,000, it's basically now just going to be 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000 to still equal up to 100k, right? So it just makes it easier for you to hit. It's basically a hit rate buff, right? That's basically what the pellets are doing. It's just a hit rate buff. But you can see her and Privity, they're on par, right, when it comes to damage, right? It's crazy because when you're fighting mobs, Privity's just smoking on this character. Her percentage is way too high on her burst skill. But when you're fighting a solo enemy, Privity's still holding her own, especially since Soda is supposed to be realistically, she's supposed to be better against the solo enemy than Privity, I feel like, because every time you're in a full burst, she has everything active besides her burst skill numbers, actually. But like right now, we're at 49 million and 47 million, blah 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 blah, right? I'm gonna cut it to 2 minutes, right? We don't need the extra bit. I think we get the gist of it. They're gonna be on par right here, so I'll wait for it to get to a minute and we'll do that as well with the other team. So right here, 55, 40, 54, right, with this team. Now we're gonna run her with the crown team against the same boss and see what really happens. Honestly, we could keep the maid Privity there as well, right? Why not compare the damage and see what it is? I mean, technically, in a sense, it should be better. If they're still on par, then I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see, right? I'm not gonna lie. Soda has a creepy face in her shooting pose. Like, I cannot. It just doesn't look right, right? It looks so creepy to me. Is that just a me thing? Let me know down below in the comments, y'all. Soda has a creepy face when she's shooting, like when she's like covering. I mean, it's so weird, right? But let's see. Okay, 9 million. Okay. I mean, with an attack buff, you got to remember, she has her own crit rate, like crit damage buff that's stacking. We have the core buffs if we ever get those, which we are not going to. And we have the attack buff from Soda herself on the burst skill, on top of One For All, on top of the attack damage buff Soda gives herself, on top of the attack damage buff that we're getting from Royal Attire, which is permanent. It's too much. It's way too much. Why does Crown do so much? Like, why does Crown do so much? God damn. Okay, right now she's at 6.7 Privity at least, and then after that she's at 8. Yeah, so Soda's just gonna dunk on maid Privity here, right? She's just gonna dunk on maid Privity, because anytime you're in a full burst, that's when Soda's kit is working, right? You want her to be in a full burst for her kit to work. So her numbers are always just going to be higher. When you use her burst skill, that's just a plus. When you're not using her burst skill, you're still going to get results from Soda. Look at these numbers. Bob. Like, that's 70, because that's 100k it said. Did that say 162k? Oh, that's from her actual second skill. Yeah, but this is good numbers, right? We'll wait the 58 seconds so it can get to 2 minutes and we'll see, right? But she should be higher than her other team, right? And you can see Privity is even like worse than, it's going to be way worse than the other team actually for Privity, because I guess Privity's not getting all those shotgun buffs that they were getting, right? Which is like crit rate, crit damage. But to be fair, attack damage and the attack buffs would be better, right? So I guess it's just too much. It's just too much, right? 49 million, 51 million. It's already going to be higher. So it's just better. Her better team is with Crown in terms of damage. But because there's no room for her on this team realistically, that's why her best team is the shotgun team. Does that make sense? Right? You're going to get higher damage output from some team that's this team. It's like a drug team. This team that's on steroids, literally. This team. Okay, 1 million, 50, 64 million. Like, like, you're going to get higher results with this team, but realistically, you're just not fitting her on this team. There's too many good DPSs that you rather put with Crown. You're not going to replace. Her team is with the shotgun team, and if you don't got that team, could you summon for and use it with Crown? By all means, because Soda's going to do good DPS regardless. If she's on the shotgun team, if she's on the Crown team, she will put out good numbers regardless. If you're looking for that sub DPS who can actually do damage on and off of full burst, Soda would actually be that character for that slot, right? But again, there's just a lot of other characters who can do it and just as much, just better as well. So you guys let me know. You guys be the verdict down below. Do you think this is her best team? Which in reality it is damage-wise, but mentally, not mentally, let's just say mentally, shotgun team is their best team. Let me know down below. It's your boy Zxous. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace. I'm done for the day. I'm off work.